Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are taking a look at your love life in 2023. I know I'm a little bit late with this video. I think we're already most of the way through January, but I got sick, and honestly I am still sick, but I was getting tired of resting, and so I wanted to film this video. So we're just gonna go ahead and do it today, and I will take a look at what your love life will look like if you're single and if you are currently in a relationship, and then we'll get some general messages and advice from your spirit guides. So with that said, please feel free to pause the video, pick whichever dessert is speaking the most to you, and let's get into today's reading. Hello Pile 1 and welcome to your reading. If you chose the ice cream cone, this is going to be your reading for today, where we are taking a look at your love life in 2023. We will just take it one step at a time and see what comes out in the cards. I will give different interpretations based on whether you are currently single and or if you are in a relationship. And then we'll get some general messages and some advice from your spirit guides. So with that said, let's get into it. Alright, what can you tell me about Pile 1's love life in 2023? Spirit, what can you tell me about Pile 1's love life? Okay. Alright, Pile 1. So, your cards all came out together and they fell on the floor. And there are 6 of them, and I was saying, like, do we want to take 6 cards? I usually do 5 card spreads, but your spirit guides were insistent that we need all 6 of these cards, so we're just going to take them. And the first card that we have for you is the Ten of Swords. And then we have Strength, the 8 of Swords, the 7 of Swords, okay, the Tower, and the Knight of Swords. Okay, right off the bat, lots of swords energy in this spread. And, I don't want you to panic. I think that this is a year about changes for you, especially with the Tower here. Things are shifting for you this year in terms of your love life, and something like might trigger a major shift in your energy and your approach to relationships. This year, I think that you might have unprocessed things that are coming up this year, so that you can process and release them, so that you won't bring certain things into your relationships moving forward. So that's like my initial intuitive reaction to seeing the cards that we have out here. I think you're going to be thinking a lot about your relationships, and I think this stuff is going to come up to for you to process and release. I think the good news here is that we do have this Strength card here, and I think that this is a message that no matter what happens this year in terms of your love and romantic life, you will be able to get through it, and it will make you stronger in the long run. So that's what I'm seeing in the tarot cards right off the bat. I am going to take the oracle cards because I usually do for like future prediction type readings, just so that we can get the full picture. So yeah, we have heart-to-heart conversations, which says honestly discuss your feelings with each other. That definitely could be connected with this Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is always honest. They always tell the truth, even when it's a hard or painful or uncomfortable truth. It's like we need to be honest with each other in order to build trust, even if hearing something in the moment might be painful or upsetting. So, but I do think there's a way to interpret this spread where, where you are having the opportunity to share your honest feelings with whoever you are in a relationship with, whether this is a new connection or somebody you are currently with. There's Swords is also about honesty. It's about speaking your truth and being vocal when you need to be. So it's like Swords connected with communication. So how you communicate in relationships this year is going to be extremely important. And you will be having heart-to-heart conversations, even if that's only with yourself, connecting with your own heart and your own approach to relationships. So that's what I'm seeing with that card. And then, I mean, obviously we'll get deeper into it as we go. Oh, I like this. Okay, we have bees, which says community. And I would interpret this as a way to say that with all of this emphasis on like communication and analysis this year, with all the swords energy here, this might be a year where you really are leaning on your support system. And these heart-to-heart conversations could also be with friends that you have in your community, or a support group that you might be a part of. Like doing group therapy and stuff like that might be helpful for you this year in order to kind of get to the bottom of, you know, if there's fears that need to be worked through with this Eight of Swords, if you've had past experiences with betrayal and heartbreak, somebody like backstabbing, something like that. I would say that I think you're definitely the Ten of Swords. There's something is ending with the Tower. It might be like an unexpected ending, but it's an opportunity to process things, and it might be through talking, through connecting with other people, through just having really honest conversations, because there is a community out there for you that is going to like, you know, even if you don't, like right now in your life, if you feel like you don't necessarily have people that you can talk to about relationship issues, those people are going to be coming towards you this year. That's what I would say within. This is like an encouragement to lean on your community while you're kind of processing everything that's going on. This might also be saying if you do have a new relationship coming in, it is going to be a Knight of Swords. Like any knight in this type of reading can represent somebody coming towards you, somebody approaching you. The Knight of Swords in particular would be somebody who is very honest, you know, and there might be a message there that if you do have a new relationship coming in towards you this year, the person you are connecting with might connect you to a new community. Like this would be the type of connection where you would be making friends with their friends, and everybody's kind of hanging out together and having these really deep heart-to-heart conversations with somebody. Like, again, the Knight of Swords always tells the truth. They're also really good at communicating, and they're also somebody who is highly intelligent. So probably somebody who's like a really good conversationalist. And so that this person might, again, bring kind of a friends group towards you, to put it that way. And then the next card that we have, yeah, I love this. Okay, so I'm going to move this. I don't think we have enough room here. So we have the full moon in Aquarius, which says be real. And definitely I think there's an emphasis on honesty and authenticity, and embrace it with Aquarius, also embracing your uniqueness. You know, you are the only person in the world who is you, you know, and you are the only person in the world who really knows your full, complete truth. And so I think that if you've been afraid to reveal certain truths in past relationships, again, this year is an opportunity to change the way that you communicate in a relationship and to really bring your full authentic self to the table, because you're working through and processing fears, maybe a fear of betrayal or something that's going on with this 8 and 7 of Swords here, and just showing up as your beautiful lion self too. And sorry, I'm speaking too fast. Standing in your strength, showing up as your authentic self, having the courage to do that. And Aquarius is also connected with the 11th house of community. So there is an Aquarian connection here. Aquarius is also an air sign, which is connected to the suit of Swords. So you might have a lot of air placements, or this could just be saying, like, this is an emphasis on on communication, on being really honest and authentic, embracing your authentic self, and having the courage to show up as your real authentic self in whatever new connections you are making. And you know, if somebody can't match that energy, you will know, okay, this person is, you know, not meant to be a lasting connection, because I think when you're bringing your real self to the table, it's important to look for somebody who is also being very genuine and honest, and that might be representing, if this Knight of Swords is representing somebody coming towards you, sorry, this might be representing that sort of energy, because as I said, Knight of Swords is always honest. They always tell the truth, and they will show up as their real authentic self. And with the fact that this is a full moon, full moons are connected to our emotions and our like intense emotions usually, and so there might be like emotional releasing that is going on for you this year. I also want to point out that again, there's a connection between these two cards, Aquarius in the 11th house. 37 reduces to 10, and the full moon is like the end of a cycle. So and then we have this 10 of Swords. So it's like you're closing out and processing something that might have to do with past energies this year. Something unexpected might trigger this, and it might be triggered by somebody, like a particular relationship and coming towards you this year. That is it's going to kind of upset the apple cart a little bit, but it is an opportunity to process and release and really take a good hard look at how you communicate in relationships this year, because that's really important to your growth in relationships, and to the approaching a relationship with this be real, like your true authentic self is going to attract somebody in towards you who is being just as genuine as you are. And so if you've had past bad experiences with betrayal or lying or cheating or whatever, you will know that this person is being authentic and genuine. And if you're watching this and you are already currently in a relationship, then it would, again, just be something is going to happen that is going to trigger a change in your communication style with the person that you are currently in a relationship with, and you're going to be getting down to the real nitty-gritty, like having these really deep, honest conversations, and really just getting to know each other like the back of your hand. Like there's no room for deceit or lying or hiding anything here. Like this is we're just both lying, you know, our full truest selves, all our cards on the table, so to speak. So again, those are my kind of initial impressions, and then we have an affirmation here for you about your love life this year, and it says, I have compassion for grumps. It's not easy to have a bad day, and even harder to be a permanent poo-poo head. So I like that. I think that this might be the initial thing that's coming to me is you might also have experiences with people who are in kind of like a heavy or dark energy. You might have experiences with people who are like pessimistic, you know, or just always have like they're always thinking about the worst case scenario, and, you know, bringing that energy to everything that they do, and maybe even bringing that energy to their relationship with you. And I think that this year, I think you're learning how to not take that on and or speak up about how that makes you feel. You know, if somebody's always constantly bringing down the mood or bringing down the energy, or like if they're constantly leaning on you for support, and it might feel like there's no room for you to not be okay. There's no room for you to bring your own emotional stuff to the relationship. There's, you know, if you always need to be the person who's comforting somebody who's in a bad mood, etc. Like if that's a dynamic that you recognize, then this would say like the growth you're going through this year is in learning how to not take that on. And just like it's like loving detachment. It's like saying, you know, I have compassion for you. It's not easy being, you know, in that heavy, dark place all the time. And at the same time, it's not my problem. I don't need to take it on. And that's your responsibility to fix. And I'm just going to kind of leave that there for you. And I'm going to do what I need to do to take care of me. So that might be something that you recognize. And with that said, so we are going to get into the tarot, and we're going to start with the 10 of Swords. And I do want to say, just before we get in, that because these cards all came out together and they fell on the floor in one big mess, I don't think they're in a particular order. In terms of, like, I don't think this is necessarily a timeline where we're starting at the 10 of Swords and working towards the Knight of Swords. Like, I don't think this is the beginning of the year moving towards the end of the year. I think that this is just, these are general themes overall of what you can expect in your love life this year. You know, if they had fallen out one by one, there might be more of a timeline here, but because it was like this all out together and they fell into a big mess and I just put them down kind of randomly, I think that we're not really looking at a timeline here. So I wanted to make that clear before we begin. All right, so starting with the 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords usually represents an ending. It is often a painful ending. And with the other messages that we have here, you know, again, I love it when the cards come out and it's like, you know, there's a beautiful positive message, etc. I also have to be honest, you know, like you know, I don't control which cards come out of the deck, and I need to be honest about what I'm seeing here. This year, if you are currently in a relationship, you might break up with your partner this year. They might legitimately be hiding something from you, and you know, we'll get into that. If you are single, this Ten of Swords might represent my initial interpretation, that you might be ending a cycle where you might have been having some fears that might have held you back from bringing your authentic self to your relationships. And it could have been because of past bad experiences with being lied to and being cheated on or betrayed in some way. But this is like, it's an again, you're going to get an opportunity this year. If you're single, you're going to get an opportunity this year to heal and release this Eight of Swords, Seven of Swords energy, and move on from that energy. Like, you are going to be getting to a place where you will not be afraid to be your authentic self, or at least have the courage to show up as your authentic self, even if you are still a little bit afraid, you know. But it's saying, I have the courage to push past that and to embrace the bravery of the lion, and really kind of bring my honest self to whatever relationships are happening. And this is like, if you're single, like the Tower being here would be a representation, as I said, like having an unexpected opportunity. The Tower it's not always positive, it's not always negative. It's just there's something that happens that's unexpected. It's like an unexpected change. It can be really destabilizing. But it can also be a really important opportunity, because something is breaking down. It's an opportunity to rebuild a foundation. And so if that is relevant to you, you could be rebuilding the foundation of all of your future romantic connections, based on, there's a lot of emphasis on honesty and communication here for you. And so that's what I'm seeing in the overall spread. And then, yeah, starting with the Ten of Swords, like, this is either the end of the cycle, you're processing and working through things this year, and or this might represent the end of a relationship. There could also be a message when the Ten of Swords comes up in a romance reading, that you might feel like you have been waiting for a really long time for a relationship, or for the right relationship, or for your soulmate. You may be doing a lot of manifestation work and just watching a lot of pick-a-card readings and feeling like, well, this, you know, I've been waiting so long and doing a lot of spiritual up-leveling, and the right person just isn't coming along. There would be a message with the Strength card being here, that and even, like, there could be related messages here, but with the Strength card being here, there's a message about not forcing things, you know, or pushing for things to be a certain way. It's like there's kind of a, you know, you have the courage to change something, but you're not gonna force the change to happen, because things need to happen on a specific timeline. And there's a confirmation of that message even in the Tower. Like, you can't force a Tower moment. It needs to happen organically. And it's like there's a message here in these cards as well, that you cannot force somebody to tell the truth. Like, honestly, maybe if you're like torturing them, there might be a way to do that, but you know, specifically there's a message for you here as well in these cards, that we cannot force somebody else to be honest or to bring their authentic self. You know, it's like they either will choose to do that or they won't. You know, and that part of it is out of our control. What we can control is what we choose to bring to the connection and to the relationship. And how we manage our own emotions and our own expectations. So, and I was saying with the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Swords here, again, it's giving me the sense of like a fear, maybe even a debilitating fear, related to this Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords deals with deception and betrayal, and what's interesting about the card in this deck in particular is it's the Seven of Swords, but there's only 5 swords on this card, so we don't know where the other 2 swords are, you know, and so there's like, if you do, there's an unknown element here. Somebody might be hiding something, and they might be planning to stab you in the back, you know, and this might, again, if you have fears related to this, it might be based on stuff that legitimately did happen in previous relationships, but it's like, we don't want to be bringing this energy towards a new romantic connection. You know, it is important to protect yourself, for sure, yes. However, there's a way to do that in the energy of the Strength card without needing to force or control people to behave in a specific way. It's just, we can trust that we can use our discernment when we bring our authentic selves to a new relationship. How do I want to articulate this? There is an element of divine protection here. This I think is representing one of your spirit guides, or an angel that is trying to protect you, and even you trying to protect your heart. Like, what am I trying to say? Like, I can get why you would be in this energy, but there's an element of faith that is required. Like, when you get really honest with yourself and you bring that honesty into your future connections, it's not that you're going to be forcing somebody to tell you the truth. I just think it's going to be like, there's going to be a lot less confusion. There's going to be like a lot less noise that might create confusion about, like, you being unsure whether that person is trustworthy or not. Like, it's going to be much easier for you to pick up on the Seven of Swords energy in other people. Does that make sense? And it's bringing me back to what I was saying about, like, when you bring that authentic, honest energy to a connection, people will naturally try to match that energy, and it will attract more people in towards you, like this Knight of Swords, who are being their authentic selves as well. And that's not to say that you won't have somebody coming in who would be, you know, having red flags and whatever. I just think it's going to be, it's going to remove this blindfold from your eyes, and you're going to be, like, when you're no longer approaching relationships from a place of fear, it's going to be, again, much easier to see other people's true colors. Does that make sense? That's how I'm being told to articulate that. So yeah, that's kind of, this is letting go past fear, so that we're not always looking for the other 2 daggers on this card. We're not always expecting other people to stab us in the back. We're leaving this part of our cycle behind in the past. There might also be a recognition, again, with the Eight of Swords here, kind of a repeat of the Ten of Swords. If you feel like you've been, like, you know, waiting for the right connection to come in, you might be in a place where you're kind of starting the year feeling a little bit hopeless, a little bit like, you know, you might be feeling a little bit grumpy, a little bit like, you know, pessimistic when it comes to your romantic life. And there would be a message here that you are going to be having a breakthrough this year. And there's not information in these cards necessarily about, like, a new relationship. If you're single, if you resonate with this, there might not be information here about a specific relationship that is coming towards you this year, because you are meant to be focusing on yourself. Even if you feel like you've been waiting for a long time. So that would be my honest, this is me being honest and authentic and real with you. This is an opportunity for you to work on yourself, and to have heart-to-heart conversations with yourself and with your community, whether that's like a group of friends. You might have new friends coming in towards you this year that are platonic friends, as a way for you to have support while you're working through this stuff. And again, the good news, if that's the case, would be you're going to have a breakthrough. That's represented on this Tower card, and you're going to be rushing forward after that in the Knight of Swords energy. Like, okay, oh, okay, I'm, you know, I've broken through this energy, I've ended this cycle, I'm ready to move forward, and I want to be very authentic and honest, and really bring that energy to all of my relationships. This might be a throat chakra year for you, where you're really, really working on communications and healthy communications and kind of getting to the bottom of whatever's going on here for you. That's how I would interpret this spread if you are currently single. And look, and that's not to say that you're not going to have a relationship or that you won't meet like a soulmate this year. I'm not seeing information about that because Spirit specifically wants me to give you the message that that we in order to end this cycle and move forward in the correct energy, in order to attract somebody who is part of your soul family or a soulmate, we need to work through this stuff first. And again, the good news is you are going to be having like a breakthrough that's going to create kind of a sudden forward momentum in the progress in terms of closing out this cycle. But there's a message about patience and being patient with yourself, having compassion for yourself. And again, we cannot force the Tower to happen. That's the not forcing energy on the Strength card of like, it'll happen when it's meant to, and that's just the reality of it. And then the other way to interpret this, if you are currently in a relationship, and I want to be honest and authentic with you. There might be a message here that you might, the relationship you're currently in might end this year. It might be because the person you are in a relationship with might be hiding something from you. And that might be one of your fears. And if that is a fear, if you're currently seeing behaviors or red flags that they're doing you're like, I'm not sure about this, like maybe they're getting a text from a coworker at like 11 p.m. and you're like, I'm not sure, like what does that mean? There might be a confirmation here that that they are hiding something, and it might be something that this is going to lead to the end of the relationship. There would be a similar message with the Tower card that, again, you can't force this person to be honest with you, but something might be revealed to you. That's like the truth being revealed to you, whether this person has chosen to tell you what they're hiding or not. And then it's like, after that, it's like all the cards are on the table and suddenly you're having like the full truth revealed to you. So that's why I'm saying like it's not necessarily the best news if you're in a current relationship, because this could represent the end of your relationship. On the other hand, there is a way to interpret this spread where one phase of your relationship is ending so that the relationship can up-level to a place where both of you are being more honest, more authentic, and more genuine with each other. This can represent, again, the Eight of Swords, like this is a very connected energy. Somebody is hiding or holding back because of fear. And that it could represent you, it could represent the person you're in a relationship with, and it could be both. You might both have similar wounds, you might both have similar reasons for why you might not be 100% honest with each other. This could even be like if you're kind of in the honeymoon stage of the relationship and you're like, I don't want this person to know how crazy I am, or I'm just being silly, but if you don't necessarily want to reveal the deeper things or the deeper wounds to this person right away, this might be saying you're getting to the phase or stage in your relationship where you are going to be kind of revealing those things to each other. And the good news is it is going to create much more authentic communication with this is like having a sudden breakthrough in communication, and suddenly we're being very honest with each other. And that's not necessarily a negative thing. It could be, again, like an up-leveling in the relationship that creates intimacy and trust. And by revealing these things to each other, you are going to be really strengthening and deepening the bond with your person. So, again, I want to be honest and say this, it might represent the end of a relationship. It could also represent a relationship up-leveling. And if you are single, there might not be a specific relationship showing up in these cards, but that doesn't mean that's not going to happen for you. It's like this year we're working on communication. This year we're working on community. This year we're working on authenticity, having those deep connections and conversations, bringing our authentic self to a relationship, knowing that we don't need to force or fight for the right person. We don't need to try try to change somebody, if this is representing somebody that you are in a relationship with who has kind of like a negative attitude, and brings that into the relationship, if that's like exhausting to deal with and you don't like that, then this would be, we're not going to try to change this person. That might genuinely just be how they are, but it's saying like, okay, well, I don't need to take that on. I can choose that, I can express how that makes me feel. Maybe I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who's like that, and I'm going to move forward and I'm going to look for a connection with somebody who is, more in alignment with my own energy. And this might even be saying like, if you feel like you would identify as the grump here, and you feel like you're feeling like maybe a little bit hopeless, or like this has been like a really long process and you're tired and you just want your person to come in already, then it would say like, let's practice self-compassion. Let's practice some self-care. Let's be really patient with ourselves as we work through this process, because it is really important that that you are in a specific energy in order to attract in somebody who is a member of your soul family, somebody who is a real high-level soulmate. It's like when you're in that genuine energy, that is, and you're really being real and really communicating honestly, that is what is going to attract a soulmate in towards you. And that is, if you are currently in a relationship, that is what is going to make this relationship the best possible version of itself, and really, again, like an evolution into the next phase of the connection where you're really getting to know each other on a really deep level. So that's what I'm seeing in these cards. And then the last message that we have for you is on the back of this oracle card here. And I did think it was interesting that again, this looks like an angel or a spirit guide to me, just with the angel wings here, and then there's an emphasis on this heart here, so, heart chakra, growth, expansion. I was also seeing the throat, with all the swords energy here and all this information, emphasis on communication, conversations, honestly discussing your feelings with each other, etc. Again, community, connecting with other people, lots of throat chakra stuff. There's also a piece of jewelry over this person's third eye. And that's like, to me, it's saying like it's kind of, I was having trouble expressing the thought of when you bring your authentic self to a relationship, you are going to be much more tapped into your own intuition about other people, and are going to be having an easier time discerning when somebody is being authentic or not. I was having trouble articulating that thought, but that might be represented why this person has jewelry over their third eye. It's like, I can trust my intuition because I'm tapped into my own authentic self. That might be something that resonates there. And then I was going to say something else, and I've forgotten what it is. So we're going to read the thing on the back here. Hopefully I'll remember what it was. Okay. And this card says, acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times we must accept things as they are. There is no point trying to change that which is beyond our control. And that's very interesting, because that is a confirmation of a lot of the themes that we're seeing here. It's like not controlling, not forcing, acceptance, accepting where we are, where we're at in the process, accepting where, how other people, this might be, again, an energy that you recognize, might be somebody in your life, and it's like, well, that might just be who that person is. They might not be ready to change. We can't force somebody to be honest with us. We can't force somebody to be how we want them to be, or to go through their own process of growth, and it's like, I'm sorry if this is jarring, pile one. I decided to do something unusual. I just felt really drawn. When I saw the message on your oracle card about acceptance, I felt really drawn to read the passage from the Alcoholics Anonymous book about acceptance, because I think it's really relevant to what you're working on this year. I have already finished filming your pile, but I really wanted to add this in because I think it's just kind of the overall theme in terms of what's going on in your love life this year. So I wanted to read that for you. It says, "And acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life, unacceptable to me, and I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing, happens in God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and in my attitudes. So I love that passage, and I think that it is just a reminder that yeah, you know, we can only control the things that we can control, and it's like we kind of have to let go of everything else, even as hard as that might be. And that might be related to the Ten of Swords coming up in your reading as like, you know, it can be like a painful and difficult ending, like something that we might not have wanted to end a certain way. However, there's a message that it's like we can't go for any further down this road, and there's a message about accepting that something has ended in order to be able to move forward. And so I think that again is a relevant theme for your reading. And with that said, we'll jump back into your video here. And so this might be a year about learning how to discern between the things that you can change, the things that you can't change, working on acceptance of the things that you have no control over, and working on the courage to change the things that you can change, which includes your communication style, how you choose to approach relationships, and moving forward with courage, despite, even if you still have some fears, moving forward with the courage to be your authentic self, even in the face of the potential that that somebody might be lying or planning to betray you in some way. It's like, I'm still going to courageously move forward and just be my authentic self and just have faith that whatever happens, I have the strength to get through it, because you do. So with that said, I think that is where I'm going to leave your reading today, Pile 1. I do hope that this has been helpful for you. I know it might be a little bit all over the place. As I said in the intro, I am still sick. That's why this video is a little bit late, and hopefully I haven't been too scatterbrained, and given the, you know, the most interpretations as I can for you today. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did like it, please feel free to give it a like. Please comment down below and let me know how this resonated for you. If you like my videos and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. And with that said, thank you very much for watching Pile 1, and I do hope to see you in my next reading. Hello Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the candy, this is going to be your reading for today, where we are taking a look at your love life in 2023, and I will give slightly different interpretations based on whether you are currently single or if you are currently in a relationship, and we will see what comes out in the cards. We're also going to get some just like general information and some advice from your spirit guides as well. So with that said, let's get right into it. Okay, all right, so we're starting with the Devil. Okay, I'm gonna just say an intuitive message that I received. Somebody here, and this might be representing your energy, this might represent somebody that you are currently in a relationship with, or some information about a new relationship coming in, but I just heard the word stubborn. And I will say that I've been shuffling for a really long time before this card came out. There was no cards were coming out, and then a bunch of them came out, and it knocked these sideways, which is why they're in a different position. But yeah, so somebody here might be being a little bit stubborn. I don't know if that resonates for you, but it's also kind of said in a little bit of a teasing way, so it's not like a serious criticism, but that was an intuitive message that I wanted to share. Okay, what can you tell me about Pile 2's love life in 2023? Okay. Alright, so we have the Moon and the Ace of Crystals. This would be the Ace of Wands. Ooh, and the Ten of Cups. All right, Pile 2, I've been shuffling for a really long time. There are no new cards coming out. I'm thinking that with the combination of stubborn and then the Moon being here, and then it's like we have this Ace of Wands and the Ten of Cups. These are positive messages when it comes to a relationship reading. But we do have this energy, and I'm getting an intuitive sense there might be something that you need to let go of, an attachment or something you are clinging onto, that you are being encouraged to release. And it's like the moon can represent a bunch of different things in a relationship reading. It has like a million interpretations in a relationship reading. Some of them are positive, more positive than others. Some of them are not that positive, but it can also just be a general message when we're doing like a future predictions video. There are things you're not meant to know, or things are not going to be revealed or made clear to you until you let go of something. Like, this has to be released first before something positive can happen here. That's an intuitive sense I'm getting. It's like there are things that are deliberately being hidden or blocked, prevented by spirit, even though your spirit guides are trying to help you. They're trying to be helpful here, but it's like, we're not going to show you what's behind this moon until you let go of something here with the devil. That's an intuitive thing that I'm getting. So with that said, we are going to get one more card for you. Can you tell me about Pile 2's love life in 2023? Okay. And I'm almost getting the sense because I'm shuffling and spirit keeps giving me 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 cards, 5 cards. It's like, again, there's a blockage or a delay here, and then everything's going to happen all at once. Like, there's good stuff over here, but we got to deal with this first. Because spirit keeps trying to give me like half the deck, and I'm like, I only want one more card. And when that happens in a reading, I sometimes interpret that as like, there's something important here, and then everything's going to just start happening really fast. So yeah, so I wanted to say that. What can you tell me about Pile 2's life? Okay, and ooh, okay, the last card we have for you here is the Emperor, and I think that we could interpret this differently based on what I'm trying to say is there's a couple different ways we could interpret the Emperor here. This could be your energy. This could also represent a divine masculine. This could be you in your divine masculine energy, and or a divine masculine might be coming in for you. That might be, only if that's relevant to you, only if that is something that you would want. There might be a message there about that. But I do think that this would be a message about moving away from the energy of the devil. Because it's the Emperor associated with taking responsibility and taking care of yourself and protecting your own energy, which would be incongruent with stubbornly holding on to an attachment to something that might not be benefiting you anymore. So that's what I want to say. I'm moving the cards over because Spirit's insisting that I take the back of the deck as well. So we have the Wheel of Fortune here, which I think is a very positive sign for you. It's like there's an element of divine timing, and there's good luck, good fortune coming towards you. Again, I'm just getting the intuitive sense. There's something you might already know you need to let go of. You might be hung up on a past connection, or just waiting for somebody to come back towards you, or still processing something. But it's like you're being encouraged to detach your energy from something before beautiful positive things can come in for you, because as I said, like this Ace of Wands, the Ten of Cups, the Emperor, the Wheel of Fortune, these are all very positive messages here, but it's the moon that's dividing the devil from the rest of these energies. And I think that's important. So I wanted to say that. And then we are going to take your oracle cards right off the bat, because that's what I do in future predictions readings. I want to have the full picture. So the first card we have for you is trust, and it says this situation is calling for you to have faith, and that might be Spirit's showing me the example of a trapeze. It's the trapeze, right, with the swinging bars up in the air, and it's like in order to reach up and grasp the next rung, we have to let go of the previous one, and there's an element of that moment when we're in the air between the rings where we're not holding on to anything. You know, and that requires an element of trust and faith that the next trapeze ring will be there when you reach out and grasp for it. That is, I'm getting full body chills. That is what Spirit is showing me as this element of trust. There's an element of faith that we need to let go of something in order for the next thing to appear, and having the faith that whatever new thing is going to come in is going to be better than whatever we are leaving behind. This is something that is meant for you, but it can't come in until you let go of the previous thing, and that requires faith. And it's like you can trust that Spirit has your back, that whatever is meant for you in this lifetime will come towards you in divine timing. And again, I'm being really called to reiterate the message. Whatever is coming next is going to be better than whatever you are leaving behind. Even if you feel like that's a soulmate level connection, even if you feel like it couldn't possibly get any better than what you had, or if you're losing faith in getting the thing that you want, there's just a really important message here that this, whatever's coming next, is going to be so beautiful, beautiful, but we need to let go of the previous thing to move forward into the future. That's my intuitive interpretation. I will say, if this interpretation is not resonating for you, there might be messages for you in a different pile. Just that's like getting a really strong intuitive sense that you know, and the devil also deals with addictions, like being addicted to somebody's energy, and being, you know, a little bit stubborn about it, and just knowing that even if you know, like it's like, even maybe like in a self-destructive way, like, you know, it's not the right thing to do to just be going back to this person's energy all the time, you know, but it's like, it's addictive. It gets that dopamine rush that you want. It gives you that feeling that you're looking for, and it's like, but you can have so much better, something so much better when we let go of this. So, and you know, that can even apply if you are currently in a relationship. You know, and it's not just if you're currently single and you're waiting for somebody to come in. There is a positive message about that. This can also be saying, it is not necessarily that you're feeling attached to somebody else's energy that you don't want to let go of. This can also be saying attached to like a previous cycle, or attached to a certain way of being, or a certain behavior, or a certain thought process that is not serving. It's like it's no longer necessarily serving the relationship. You know, with the moon here, it could create a distortion in terms of how you feel about your relationship, or how you feel about the other person here. And then if we're moving from the moon into this Ace of Wands, Ten of Cups, all this beautiful energy here, it would be saying like we're confronting this distortion that's based on something that we need to let go of, so that we can have a new beginning in the relationship you're currently in. And so that might be something that resonates for you if you are currently in a relationship. But you know, it would be up to you to interpret that however it applies to you. And then we also have I love this. Okay, we have the new moon in Leo, which says shine. I would associate like a new moon in Leo, which is a fire sign, with this Ace of Wands here, which is associated with fire. There is a new beginning coming in for you, whether that is a new relationship with your Ten of Cups person, or if this is like you know, a new beginning, a new phase, a new evolution in the relationship that you are currently in. Either way, it is going to be a positive thing, and it's an opportunity to, with shine, I'm seeing like approaching the relationship with like positivity, with a can-do attitude, with like it's like the sunny aspect. There's sunflowers on this card of like, let's if you have a habit of maybe focusing on like the worst case scenario, or what might go wrong, or what somebody might be doing behind the scenes, it's like I'm choosing to face away from that, because sunflowers face towards the sun. It's like, let's focus on positivity. Let's cultivate opportunities to feel positive about something. There might be affirmations here. There might be self-esteem work here. There might be a social connection with the energy of Leo. Like leaning on your friends group, and again, just like leaning into positivity. And it's a new moon. It's like changing your attitude about something, changing the way that you see something with the moon. That is going to have a really positive effect on moving forward into the next cycle, the next phase, the next relationship, if that is relevant to you. So yeah, that's a definitely a positive message there. And I think it's interesting is, this looks, you know, the moon in a tarot card, I think a lot of them depict a full moon, but this looks like a new moon as well. It's like a new opportunity, a new way to see something. And what's interesting is that the castle back here on this Ace of Wands looks like these towers on the moon card. It's like something is still here. These energies are still connected, but it's like the new thing on this Ace of Wands is your attitude. It's your perception of what is going on here. And it might require an element of faith to kind of, again, take things on faith that when you approach things from a positive attitude, you shine out and you like show up and let yourself be seen and show up as your authentic self and shine that beautiful, positive, bright energy out there, it's going to attract somebody in towards you who is matching that energy, and it's going to be like a bright, positive thing for you. So, I wanted to say that. And then we have, ooh, I love this. Okay. I just love the colors on this card. So this is succulence, and it says resilience. It is the number 38, which reduces to 11, which reduces to 2, which is a number about partnerships and harmony. So definitely that's a theme here. And with resilience, there's a message that, you know, that you have what it takes to get through anything. You have what it takes to get the whatever outcome you want for your next relationship and or your current relationship, like getting to the next level of your current relationship. It's like, but we need to work in partnership and harmony with the universe. You know, we need to work with the flow and the current of fate and time. And it's like, instead of this is, the devil here for me is like, I know it's an intuitive way to interpret this spread. It's not necessarily the typical way to read these cards in a romance reading, but it's like, again, this is giving me the sense of when resilience, like when determination turns into stubbornness, you know, and that's something I'm intimately familiar with. I am a Taurus, and I do, this is one of my quote unquote character flaws, you know, where you know, when I'm kind of locked into something, it can take like an act of God to get me to change my focus, you know, and it's like, it's a determination. The other side of that, the flip side to that, can be stubbornness. So there might be something you recognize about yourself, but there's a message with resilience that, again, like you have the resilience to get what you want this year. And in addition to that, it's like this could be a resilient relationship that's coming towards you. And in addition to that, if you're currently in a relationship, you have the resilience to get to the next phase, to get through whatever is going on here to the next evolution of the relationship that you're currently in. So that might be something that resonates for you. And then we have, I keep my fire lit and blaze through all my so after a day of it, I can enjoy my evening sit. And I really like that. And there is more fire energy here with, you know, we have the Ace of Wands and then the Leo energy here, and then I keep my fire lit, and there's a shine fire, like a lit fire, like really projecting that energy outward and sharing it with the world, and that is going to attract something that you want towards you. And then with, you know, with your blazing through all of your stuff, you know, with resilience and a lot of like forward momentum, so that you can at the end of this passionate period also get to a place of harmony and rest. And so there's a passionate new beginning here. There's also a lot of compatibility, harmony, and like coming home energy with the Ten of Cups here. And then the Emperor is number 4, very stable and safe. So it's a passionate connection that's also emotionally fulfilling and stable and safe. And it's in the cards for you after we move through this this phase here. So, yeah, that's what I'm seeing with the Oracle cards. So we're going to get into the maybe a bit more of a kind of a standard interpretation of the tarot spread for you. And I mean, I will say, I do think my intuitive interpretation of these cards, you know, it's a general reading, but it might apply for a lot of you. But you know, the devil, it doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily a negative message. The thing about the devil card is it's one of those cards in the tarot that it can really go either way depending on kind of the context of the spread and what other cards are around it. And it can talk about like passion, commitment, dedication in a relationship reading, because it's a very committed energy. And the devil is also associated with contracts. So when this card comes out, it can talk about, you know, signing a marriage contract or getting engaged. You know, that can be something that is relevant here. But the way the cards are behaving, in combination with the fact that we have the moon right next to it, and then we're moving forward into the future. I do think that for a lot of you watching, there is something here that is related to some sort of old pattern that your spirit guides really are encouraging you to let go of this year, so that you can move forward into towards something beautiful. I get a lot of positive messages in these cards that it's like the devil does represent like attachments, addictions, temptation, things we know we shouldn't be doing, but you know, but we want that feeling that it gives us, and you know, self-destructive patterns, things like that, and with the combination of the moon here, this is a strong message, perhaps for a few of you watching. You might already know what this is referring to. It's like, if you are prone to, like, you know, thinking about like the worst case scenario, or thinking that that somebody is engaging in shady behavior, or this is like saying that you're almost kind of creating that reality. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you're always looking for something, even something that might not be there. With the moon here, it's like always expecting the worst, and then it's like you're gonna see the worst if you are always looking for it, you know, even if it's not really true. And so that might be something that resonates for you, the two of these cards being here together. And there could be another way to interpret this where the moon might also be representing, you know, I did say this, the moon represents a lot of different things. It might also be representing putting somebody on a pedestal, or wanting to see the very best in them, or being able to see their potential, even though that potential has not been realized. And it's like there's some aspect of unreality to the devil and the moon here of, again, just being really attached or addicted or something to viewing something a certain way that's not grounded in reality. That could be a message of these two cards together. And the moon, again, it does talk about like hidden things, and there could be a message that that somebody you are with is legitimately hiding something. But because of the aspect also of distortion, not seeing the full picture, the fact that the moon reflects the sun and doesn't produce its own source of light, there's a connection to the concept of fantasy, of distortion, of again, like wanting to put somebody on a pedestal. It's like you're not seeing it the situation clearly for what it is, and this can be connected to seeing red flags that aren't there, or always wanting to believe the worst of a situation, even when it's not supported by evidence, even when it's not grounded in reality. And so this might be a pattern of behavior, something that you recognize that would be relevant for you. Whatever interpretation this is, again, it could be related to being addicted to pick-a card readings about your ex. You might be being encouraged, like knowing that you need, it's like picking at a scab, you know, and it's not giving it a chance to heal. You know, it's like knowing that you need to move on, and that it's maybe a little bit of like a self-destructive behavior, but like, you know, hearing about how they're doing and how they really feel about you, like that, it gives you a little bit of an emotional rush or something like that. Even though you know that you want to be moving forward onto the next thing, it's like we're still kind of attached to something. So maybe doing a cord cutting ceremony might be helpful for you if that is something that resonates for you. But again, it's like, yeah, there's something going on here. And then the rest of the spread is talking about something new, a different situation. Moving forward into the future, grasping that next trapeze rung. It is going to be there for you. It just requires faith and letting go of this stuff. The Ace of Wands can talk about, it's a really positive and important thing that then we have this Ace of Wands, and then we also have the Ten of Cups and the Emperor and the Wheel of Fortune. These cards in context to each other is a very positive message, because the Ace of Wands talks about like intense attraction, feeling very physically attracted to somebody, like somebody new, like a new connection that really sparks a passion. So there might be, you know, this would be like either something that's happening in your current relationship or a new person coming in that's going to spark an intense attraction. With your fire lit and the shine energy here, there is something new, and it's going to start with physical attraction. It's going to start with that intense, passionate chemistry, but it is going to develop into something deep. And it's the reason I'm saying that's a good thing is because the Ace of Wands in a relationship reading can also talk about like an intense but brief connection. It doesn't always ground itself into a real relationship, but with these other cards here, I'm saying that it will. You know, particularly the Ten of Cups, this is a very positive message. This is like the happily ever after card. This is like extreme emotional fulfillment. This is soulmate energy. This is I found the person I've been looking for. This is I had faith that this person would come in, and they have. This is when the next trapeze rung has appeared, and you have caught it. And it's like that feeling of being very, very both proud of yourself, having and your spirit guides being very proud of you, and just like yeah, it's like it's going to start with this physical attraction, and it's going to quickly develop into something that is like, oh, I know this person is my soulmate. This is the most fulfilling connection I've ever had. I'm so happy, and this is such a pleasure to be around this person, and I'm so glad that I trusted that this person would come in when I let go of this old stuff, you know, and that's a beautiful message. And I did say with the Emperor, this could just be representing a divine masculine if that is relevant to you, and or this could be you also embracing like taking responsibility, taking control of your romantic situation, and choosing to have the courage to move forward into the next phase, the next step, and lighting that fire within you and working through you know, all of your stuff so that you can reap the beautiful rewards from doing this emotional work here towards the beginning of the year, and working through this stuff, and then shining a beacon to attract this person in towards you, and having faith that that is going to come towards you in divine timing with the Wheel of Fortune. And it's like the Emperor is like, we're stepping up and taking responsibility for that, and we're also, this is like a grounded, practical energy. So it's like the Ten of Cups might feel a little bit ungrounded because it is so emotionally intense, you know. But it's like at the end of the day, we're gonna just kind of sit down, calm ourselves down, and get to a place of practicality, and like it's just such a positive message. And it could even be saying like building a home, a future, planning for the future together with my partner, and just knowing, like having a divine knowledge that that this connection is fated. It was meant to be, and that would be the confirmation with this Wheel of Fortune. Like this is, it's kind of reiterating for me the message on the Trust card. Like it requires you to have faith. And like it is, you do have some divinely led connection. This is associated with divine connections. It's associated with good luck, good fortune, and the wheel moving forward. Like you're creating forward momentum by choosing to embrace the energy of the Ace of Wands and leave behind the energy of the Devil and the Moon here. Like we're leaving this behind so that we can start a new phase, and that is going to set the wheel moving in your favor, and that's a beautiful message there. And then I do want to talk about the zodiac signs that we have here. They might be relevant. We have the Devil associated with Capricorn. The Moon is associated with Pisces. We have the Ace of Wands associated with fire signs, including Leo and Aries, which the Emperor is associated with Aries. The Ten of Cups is associated with water signs, including Pisces, and then, oh, and Scorpio here. And then we have the fixed signs on the Wheel of Fortune, which would be Aquarius and Scorpio and Leo and Taurus. So we have another Leo connection there. So those signs might be relevant to you. You know, as always, take whatever resonates. And then at the end of the reading, we're going to flip this card over because it does have a phrase on the back. If I can pick it up. Okay, there we go. And oh, this may be a little bit spicy, but yeah, but I really like this image. I love the kind of rainbow colors on it. And there is like a little bit of a new moon here, almost like an element of a new phase. And the new moon also I associate with having faith, because it's like, it's so dark, you know, and there's only a sliver of light, you know, but it's like having faith that, you know, the light will come back. You know, we're not going to be in complete darkness. The moon hasn't, you know, the sun hasn't gone away. You know, it's going to come back tomorrow. So there might be an element of that. And then with the kind of rainbow colors here, the rainbow over there, and the fact that it looks like there's kind of light shining down all along this person's body is reminding me also the concept of like chakra alignment. That might be something that you're working on this year. It might be a message that all of your chakras are going to be coming into alignment, and you're going to be feeling much more in tune with yourself this year, to put it that way, with your authentic self. And then also this person's eyes are closed, giving me a sense of meditation and also faith, because you know, I can just trust the universe with my eyes closed, you know. And then also this beam of light hitting this person's third eye might also be a message about, you might intuitively know a lot of this stuff that we've talked about today. And if that's the case, then, you know, then I would just take this reading as a confirmation. So you're going to flip this over, and it says, a message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. I love that. I would interpret that as a loving message from from either a soulmate that you haven't met yet, or if we are interpreting this as a relationship you are currently in that is going to be up leveling into the exactly the relationship that you want it to be, because you're taking responsibility for like working through your stuff to get to a place of like newness and the connect. Like this is a reignition, a rekindling of the passion and the connection. This is like we're able to connect really deeply emotionally, because we're no longer having a distorted view of something. We can see each other clearly, we can see ourselves clearly, we can see the future of this connection clearly, and it's taking responsibility and then knowing that you are being divinely guided and divinely supported, and it's like you're creating a forward momentum by choosing to embrace this energy. So I did want to reiterate the interpretation in terms of if you're currently in a relationship, there's all these messages still apply. Again, and this would be a message either from a soulmate that you haven't met yet that's going to be coming in towards you this year, or the person that you are currently in a connection with. And this would be a message from their higher self that they're thinking of you this very moment, and your love fills me with light, and I love you is a very positive, very sweet message for you. So with that said, I think that is where I'm going to leave your reading today, pile 2. I hope that it has been helpful for you. As I said in the intro, I am still sick while I'm filming this, so hopefully it hasn't been too scatterbrained. And with that said, if you did like it, please feel free to give it a like. Please comment down below and let me know what resonated for you. If you like my videos and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. And with that said, thank you very much for watching Pile 2, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Hello Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the cupcake, this is going to be your reading for today, where we are taking a look at your love life in 2023. This is meant to be just like a general overview of what might happen in your love life. I will give different interpretations based on whether you are currently single or if you are currently in a relationship. and we will get some additional messages and advice from your spirit guides. I know that I'm a little bit late with this video this year, but I really wanted to do this reading for you guys, and I have been sick for like most of January, so I'm just trying to get it out for you guys. So please bear with me. And with that said, let's get into it. Okay. All right. So we have. Ooh, okay, we have the Knight of Crystals. This would be the Knight of Wands. The Nine of Crystals. This would be the Nine of Wands. So some fiery energy right off the bat here for you. Okay, what can you tell me about Pile 3's love life in 2023? What can you tell me about? Okay, oops, jumped into my hand. Okay, we have the Hanged Man. Okay, what can you tell me about? Okay. Okay. Alright, we have the Nine of Swords. And the Two of Swords. Okay. This is interesting. I mean, my first initial intuitive thing is this year you are going to be like I'm seeing the final like in a horse race, like where they're coming around the final bend, like you are very, very close to the end of a cycle, and you are going to be like really finishing something out this year when it comes to your romantic life. We'll get deeper into it when we do the rest of the cards. I am going to take the rest of your oracle cards right off the bat, so we have more of a complete picture. Honestly, I don't remember what I did with the first two piles. I filmed them a few days ago, and then I got sick again. So I don't remember if we took all the cards for those piles, but I am feeling compelled to do it for you. So that's what we're going to do. So the card we have here is Honeymoon. It says, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. I love that. That might have something to do with this Hanged Man of like kind of, you know, relaxing where you are and getting to a place maybe if things, yeah, like there's some aspect of a long road that is like tied to the messages here. And just, I think that you are going to be in an energy this year where you are kind of in a place of acceptance that things move in divine timing. You know, we can't push or force things to move with the speed that we want. And so let's kind of shift our perspective to focus on enjoying the blissful time that we have together with whoever is here with us and during the time that we have together. You know, maybe focusing away from the finish line. You know, if we're going back to the horse race, we're not so concerned with the finish line. We're just enjoying being on the track with the other horses, and that kind of exhilarating rush of having the privilege of participating, if that makes sense. That's what's coming to me with this card. And then we have, ooh, I like this. Okay, we have the lotus flower, which says enlightenment. The lotus flower is also very much connected with the crown chakra, and this is to number 27, also reduces to 9, and then we have two 9s here, and 9 is a number that is associated with completion and fulfillment. And so it definitely, I think there is a message about leaning into your spirituality. With enlightenment, you might go through a spiritual awakening this year, or have a lot of like spiritual up-leveling going on, and it might really kind of, again, help you shift your perspective on your romantic life and your love life this year. I think in a way that is necessary for your healing and growth. That's what's coming to me with this card. And you might feel that you are receiving more direct or explicit guidance from Spirit this year. And I would take this as confirmation that, you know, if you are receiving a message or if you think you're receiving a message from your spirit guides, if it's something that is helpful for you, absolutely take it. If it is something that is not helpful, you can leave it. You don't need to take every single thing you think could be a message from spirit, you know, and that's something that, that I like to reiterate in my readings, because not everything resonates for everybody, and some people, like, you know, if sometimes I'm watching a reading and something is not helpful for me to hear in that moment, and it took me a while to realize, like, oh, okay, I can just, like, let it go, you know, and focus on the parts of the reading that were helpful for me. So, yeah, I just felt compelled to say that. And then, okay, I like this. Yeah, this is again kind of reiterating for me a focus on a change in perspective. We have the last quarter moon in Leo, which says lighten up. You know, Leo is, we have this fiery, with the wands here, we have, you know, some fiery energy here, and even the images here on this lotus flower, like these are like stamps on letters. So this is reminding me of communication. Leo is a social energy, and I think that you might be doing some communication, maybe some like long distance communication. And with we have holiday time and honeymoon, and this looks like Venice, the canals in Venice. I would, and honeymoons are often associated with travel. You might be doing some traveling this year, and or there might be a message here that you might be involved with somebody that might be like a long distance thing. And that might be one of the reasons why we have some of the messages that we have here. So only take that if it resonates for you. But yeah, there might be something to that. And then the last card that we have for you, I love this, the little unicorn on it, says, today is a piñata full of unknowns. Time to crack that sucker open and pounce directly on the good stuff. I love that. So I think that, yeah, all of these cards so far are kind of giving me the impression that this year you are going to be shifting your focus onto away from what is or is not happening in your love and romantic life, and more towards on how you feel about what is or is not happening in your romantic life. And it was so funny because I was just thinking this morning, I was having like a, you know, a moment of reflection in my own life, and thinking about how, in my opinion, tarot readings are not showing you something that is set in stone. Yeah, like even and especially future prediction videos, because they're based on your current energy at this particular moment when you're watching this video. And if we were doing like a live reading one-on-one, it would be based on your energy when you were with me in that moment. Right? And so it's just like a snapshot of your current energy, and then we extrapolate from there, like what is likely to happen based on your current energy. And the beautiful thing about that is you have so much power to change your energy. If you don't like what has come up in the cards, if you're seeing, again, if you're seeing messages that are not helpful, if you're seeing something and you're like, oh, I don't like, you know, that's making me unhappy, I don't want to hear that, that's not the future I want for myself. We have so much power as individuals to shift and change our energy, which helps us shift and change timelines. It helps us keep that wheel of fortune in motion, keeps it moving forward. It helps bring things into alignment for us. And it's like we have so much power over what the future holds. And a lot of it is based on your perspective. And that's one of the messages of the Hanged Man, is changing your perspective. And it's like, specifically, I was thinking about how, like, focusing on cultivating a positive attitude and cultivating gratitude for the things that I do have, and all the good things and the potential, the possibilities that are open to me, like and taking the good things out of life that are available to me at all times. Like when I focus on that, not only does it make me feel happier in the moment with what I have, it also attracts more of that positivity and abundance towards me. And so it's like, again, it's like a practical way that I can have like a literal positive impact on whatever's going to happen in the future. So I don't know if that's relevant to somebody listening, but I just thought it was so interesting because I think that is one of the major messages here for you about your love and romantic life in 2023 is like a change on perspective to focus away from whatever is not happening the way you want it to, or if something, you know, is taking a while to come towards you, or if your partner is not behaving the way you want, like whatever it is, like focusing on things you're like choosing to focus away from things that you're not satisfied with towards the things that you are satisfied with, and towards the things you want more of and the things you can take initiative towards, and focusing on manifesting from a place of gratitude and positivity. Is what I wanted to say. And then I was getting a message as I was talking. I also think it's interesting. We have the lotus connected with the crown, which is like a pinky white type of color. It is usually associated with white or pink. And we have this pink here, and there's a, you know, these cards are all pink, but there's this pinky here, pink here. This deck is pink and brown and white, so it's lots of pinks. There is a focus, and these two people are connected at the crown, and so there's a focus on the crown this year for you. And that's, you know, with the enlightenment, definitely going to be going through some sort of spiritual ascension, spiritual awakening. There might be a message you are already connected at your crown to somebody who's either going to be coming, like a relationship is going to be coming in for you this year, or somebody that you might already know, like if you're currently in a relationship, this might be a confirmation. You do have a divine connection with this person's soul that is like a metaphysical connection. With that said, I'm gonna move into the cards that we have here. I do also want to offer an apology up front. I am starting to feel very spacey. This sometimes happens during tarot readings when I'm connecting to a certain energy, and it's like I get the messages and then I'm excited to share them, and then the thought just goes right out of my head. So I apologize in advance if I start rambling or if I lose track of what I'm saying mid-sentence. I'm going to try my best to communicate what I'm seeing clearly and concisely. So the first thing is with this Knight of Wands. This is a positive message. And so I think towards the beginning of the year, whether you're single or if you are currently in a relationship, this to me represents this honeymoon period. It's like, I think that is part of the reason why we have this honeymoon card here. I think it's also a message about changing your perspective. But yes, I think there's a honeymoon period going on here that I would definitely connect with the Knight of Wands coming out in a romance or relationship reading. The Knight of Wands, very passionate, charismatic, funny, fun, social. Like this is like when you're really connecting with somebody, and there's a lot of like physical intimacy with this card, a lot of attraction with this card, and so this is to me, it's like again, very connected with kind of the honeymoon period in the relationship when it's all about the attraction, the chemistry, the physical, and it's also going to be very fun. And it's just like when you're really, really connected with somebody, and it's like you want to be around them all the time because it's so much fun, and it's like such a pleasure to be with them, to put it that way. A lot of like fiery, passionate stuff going on with the Knight of Wands. However, one of the messages of the Knight of Wands is that feeling might not last. It is a very intense and passionate feeling, but that's why it's called the honeymoon period, because it is a period of time that will, in most relationships, you know, the honeymoon period does end at a certain point, and then, you know, if the relationship is meant to last, then we move into more of a long-term commitment type of energy, and it can be just as intense and passionate, or the intense passionate part might like settle down and establish into more of a routine. And so, you know, we could say like this card has neither like a negative or positive association with the other messages that we have here, there might be a message for you that part of the reason why we have all this information up here about like changing your perspective, focusing on positivity, focusing on things that you can control, lightening up a bit, you know, taking the good stuff and leaving the rest, you know, and that it's like it's full of unknowns. Let's move forward anyway. In fact, it's like a related message being in this Knight of Wands energy, you know, well, where you're moving forward into the future, into the unknown with a light heart, despite whatever might be going on in the rest of these cards here. So what I'm seeing here is we have in the rest of the cards a lot of messages about feeling like you need to protect your heart, feeling guarded, like you know, hesitant about letting somebody in, hesitant about being fully honest with somebody. Again, it's like coming from a place where you feel like you need to protect your heart because you have been hurt. There's messages about that in these cards, and there's also messages about, again, letting go of the need to control. We cannot force or push somebody to behave the way we want them to in a relationship, and unfortunately it might be connected to the fact that the first card out is the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is here for a good time. It might not necessarily be a long time, and so there might be a need to let go of your expectation that this is a relationship that is meant to last, because it might not be. And that doesn't mean that it's not worthwhile. And it doesn't mean that it wasn't special or important. It just means that it might have not been meant to last. It doesn't mean you don't have a spiritual connection with this person. You know, again, so I don't want to say that that's going to happen for everybody watching. That might not be the case here. You know, it could be that you do connect with the Knight of Wands representing connecting, like having a really passionate connection with somebody, whether that you're single and this represents somebody new coming in, or if you like would recognize this as the relationship you're currently in. You know, it could be that you are going through this shift with the relationship you are currently in. And you might remain connected with this person. So I don't know. You know, you have free will. It's a general reading. The Nine of Wands can talk about when we are not sure how something is going to turn out. And again, it's a kind of a guarded feeling because you have been through a lot. You know, you've been hurt before. You're not really sure where the other person is coming from. If this is a Knight of Wands representing somebody else, like the other person in the relationship, you're not really sure what their intentions are. Yes, this is very fun and passionate and exciting, and there's lots of like physical stuff that is very good, but you're just like not really sure. Is this meant to last? Like, and this could represent when you've been trying really hard to make something work for a long time, and you're starting to wonder about whether it's worth it or not. And it's like, yes, you may still be committed to seeing it through because you're at the 9. Like you're you know, you can tell you're getting close to maybe some sort of breakthrough or something, but there is that doubt in the back of your mind: is this worth it? And then we have the Hanged Man, which talks about, again, like letting go of the need to control, letting go of the need to force somebody to behave a certain way, or to push a relationship onto a certain timeline, you know, or to try to, again, like push for forward momentum that might not be happening right now. You know, especially if it's like, if the Nine of Wands is representing, being at a place where it's like you've been trying really hard to make something work or make something move forward, and then shifting into the Hanged Man of like, I can't force this to work. Either it will or it won't, and I need to take my hands off the reins and just kind of, if this is a stagnancy, if this is a status quo, if there's no forward movement right now, I'm going to shift to a place of acceptance and to try to figure out what can I focus on right now. And then we have the Nine of Swords, and this is a heavy energy. I've got to be honest. Something might happen with this Nine of Swords. This might be, again, it's like is this worth it? And what's interesting is the person on the Nine of Wands isn't looking at this Knight, they're looking at the Hanged Man, and they're looking at this Knight of Swords. And it's like, it's, again, this is giving me like, is this worth it? And then there's no forward momentum here, and then now I'm feeling really heavy and dark. And it's the Nine of Swords, like, it's a heavy energy, and when it comes out in like a romance or relationship reading, it's like the low after the high, to put it that way. And that might be related to this, you know, the honeymoon period ending. And if there is some, like, maybe a long distance thing going on, this might be like, when we were together, everything was great and passionate, and it was so much fun being around this person, and it was really like, it was so beautiful and amazing. And then, you know, one of us had to go back to where we're from, and suddenly, like, I just feel like I just want to lie down and cry. You know, and that might be something that, you know, is in the cards here, because with the Two of Swords here, it's an opportunity. I heard let go and let God. It's an opportunity. Yeah, yeah. As much as I don't love giving that message, because I hate hearing that. That's kind of what I'm seeing here, because the Two of Swords can talk about, you know, needing to take a step back to process something. It can talk about feeling confused, not knowing how to move forward, and that's like another message of this, the Nine of Wands Hanged Man, like feeling confused or uncertain, and then not moving forward, a lack of forward momentum. Whereas the Hanged Man, it can be, we have been stopped in our tracks, and we need to accept that we're not moving forward right now. The Two of Swords is a little bit more intentional. Like, I'm choosing to take a step back. I'm choosing to put the brakes on, because I need time to figure out what's going on here. There's a message with this card. This person is blindfolded, and it's like, and there's a moon in the background. Moons for me on certain tarot cards are a symbol of spiritual support. So like spirit, again, helping you, working behind the scenes to bring things into alignment. Because you're taking the time out to process, to rely on your internal guidance, to rely on your intuition, your gut feelings, to check in with yourself emotionally and spiritually, to connect with your feelings. And the Two of Swords also carries the opposite message as well. If you feel like you've been overwhelmed by your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts, and you know, if there's like kind of a negative thought spiral, self-limiting beliefs, self-limiting talk, whatever is going on here, the Two of Swords, this is the opportunity to do the spiritual work, to shift your perspective onto positivity, attitude of gratitude, manifesting from a place of, you can have whatever future you want, you can have whatever outcome you want, you can have whatever relationship you want, for sure. It's going to come to you faster and with much more happiness, and like, you're just gonna have an easier and more positive time while things come into alignment for you, if you can shift your perspective again onto appreciating the good stuff that is, like, you know, it's a piñata full of unknowns, you know, and some of the stuff in that piñata might be stuff that you don't want or that you don't like, but it's like, you won't know until you go and crack it open, right? And so that's part of the shift in the perspective, is like, yeah, sometimes this stuff happens. Sometimes somebody, you know, we feel really connected with, you know, who we have like a really intense good time with. Sometimes there's no forward momentum in that connection. Sometimes somebody moves away. Somebody, you know, sometimes it's just, it wasn't meant to last. That doesn't mean that it wasn't meant to happen. And it doesn't mean that it wasn't important or special, or as intense as you remember it, or, you know, that it didn't mean anything. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I hope that I'm communicating this in a way that is helpful, because this has also been a very hard lesson for me to learn and to accept. And the beautiful, again, it's just bringing me back to like the beautiful part, like the thing I really love about doing tarot readings is, like, we can change our future by changing ourselves. And And that's something that we will always have the power to do. Even in situations where we might feel a little bit hopeless or a little bit helpless, there's always something that we can change. There's always something that we can do. Even if it's just by taking a step back and trying to figure things out. Like, why did this happen? Is there something that I can learn from this? Is there something that I can take away from this that is helpful for me? If it's not helpful for me, I'm going to leave it. If it's helpful for me, I'm going to take it and I'm going to say, okay, how can I reframe this experience as something that is happening for me rather than something that is happening to me? To put it that way. Again, I hope that this has been helpful. I know this is a little bit more of more of an intuitive message, an intuitive way to read. Like, I'm not going to read these cards and say like this exact thing is going to happen to you on this exact date, because it's just with all like the crown chakra energy here. I'm feeling called to communicate in a very specific way today. It might seem a little bit more like higher perspective-y than I normally do these readings. I hope that it resonates for somebody watching and is helpful for whoever's watching. You know, it's a general reading, but again, this is how I'm feeling called to communicate the message in this spread. It's like the most important cards that we have here are this Two of Swords, and then I just love the Pinata full of unknowns. I like that a lot. And then this message about like, you know, I think the message lighten up, it's like, we could read that as being like a little bit dismissive, you know, a little bit invalidating. It's okay also to feel your feelings and process, you know, the things that have happened. And, you know, if you need to take a day and just like wallow in whatever you're feeling, that's okay too. You know, it's not saying like, you know, you know, if you're feeling depressed, just stop feeling depressed. Like, I'm not saying that. Again, it's just giving me like a reiteration of the message of let's focus on the good stuff. Let's you know, let's write a gratitude list, 3 things that we're grateful for, even and especially when we don't feel like doing it. You know, even and especially when we feel overwhelmed by you know, whatever's going on here. If there's a relationship that doesn't work out, again, if like you feel really connected to somebody and they move away, or like you connect with somebody on a vacation and it's like it was so intense and beautiful and meaningful, and it's like you're trying to make it work after both of you go back home, and it's like not like it's obstacle after obstacle, and it's like, well, I'm going to send you a letter and I'm going to hope that you respond, and I'm going to let go. I'm going to let go of the need to control what you do with that, and I'm going to feel my feelings. If the Nine of Swords can also be like, there might be a message of if you are struggling alone, if you're like having these hard feelings, you can reach out for help from your friends group, from spiritual source, and if you need support, it's okay to ask for it, and if you need to take time out and figure out how you're feeling, it's okay to do that too. But again, it's like this is giving me like I don't want to be stopped, but I need to accept that things are not going to move forward the way I want them to right now. And this is saying I'm choosing to remove myself from the situation or take a step back from the situation, because that is what is best for my mental health right now. So the shift might be between these two energies. If that makes sense. So again, I do feel like I'm starting to ramble a little bit. And we're going to flip this card and see what it says. You know, as I said, I think it's important these energies are connected at the crown. There might also be a way to interpret this where, you know, if you do have this connection with whoever is being represented on this Knight of Wands, they don't have to be a fire sign. Again, this can just represent like a really passionate connection with anybody. You know, if this is somebody who hasn't come towards you yet, if this is somebody who you already are in a connection with, or somebody you could currently be in a relationship that is not in this energy right now, and this might still represent somebody new coming in who's going to spark a passion in you, and then that might cause you to question where you currently are in your current relationship. That's a different way to interpret it that's coming to me. There may be like, this might represent this or it might not. This might be saying, this is an experience that might happen based on your current energy this year, and this would be the reason why things would happen this way. But you might also have a message from a different person, from a high-level soulmate, or somebody else being represented, divine connection here with somebody else who's coming in to give you a message here. So we're gonna flip it over and see what it says. It says romance, Cupid's arrow strikes. So it's not necessarily like a direct message, but it's, you know, I think that this would just be like a confirmation of a honeymoon period, romance, Cupid's arrow, passion, like feeling really passionate, connected. Like I do think, I would say, yeah, I would take this as a confirmation. Whether you're single right now or you're currently in a relationship, there is going to be something romantic that happens with Cupid arrows strikes. This is like an exclamation point. It's like it being shot with an arrow. It's like, you know, very romantic, Valentine's Day kind of vibes there. And, you know, with the night, it's like fast moving, passionate, intense, the honeymoon period. There's definitely going to be something going on in your romantic life. It might happen towards the beginning of the year, might happen more towards the middle or the end of the year. It's a general reading, you know, so I don't know what the timeline is like, but again, if it is not meant to last, if it doesn't work out the way that you would have hoped that it would, you are going to be okay. Because it is, again, an opportunity to change how you feel, to change how you react when you have a connection that is very intense and passionate, and it turns out that it wasn't meant to be long-term. So that's my honest interpretation of the cards that we have here for you today, pile 3. I hope that this reading has been helpful. If you liked it, please feel free to give it a like. Please comment down below and let me know how this resonated for you. If you like my videos and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. And with that said, thank you very much for watching pile 3, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Hello pile 4, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the donut, this is going to be your reading for today. Where we are taking a look at your love life in 2023. And I will give slightly different interpretations based on whether you are single or currently in a relationship. And with that said, let's get to it. What can you tell me about pile 4's love life in 2023? What can you tell me? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, very nice. Okay, we have the 9 of Diamonds. This would be the 9 of Pentacles. What can you tell me? Okay. Do you want me to take these? Yes? Okay. Alright, then we have the 6 of Crystals. This is the 6 of Wands. We have the 10 of Cups. Very beautiful. The Queen of Cups. Very nice. Okay. A very beautiful message so far for you, pile 4. I want to say, you know, for some of the other piles, the cards were saying they might have a bit more of a challenging year in terms of their love life. So this is a nice, beautiful, positive message so far. I mean, we'll see what the last card is for you. Okay. Okay, the 9 of Cups. Okay. This is a beautiful, positive spread. Very nice, pile 4. I love this for you. Yeah, right off the bat, you are going to be in your queen boss energy is what just came to me. I think because you are in such like a highly elevated energy, definitely you are going to be feeling very emotionally fulfilled. And with the 10 and 9 of Cups, you might currently actively be manifesting exactly the type of relationship that you want because of the energy that you are currently in. It's attracting towards you. Okay, even this person looks like they're like I am. Closed eyes, meditating, manifesting my emotional fulfillment. And with yeah, again, this energy here, yes, you are going to be having some sort of relationship this year that is very emotionally fulfilling. You might have a soulmate coming in for you, you know, if you're single, there might be somebody new, again, very attracted to your energy. And if you are currently in a relationship, there's lots of positive messages here about up-leveling and increasing the level of emotional intimacy in the relationship that you are currently in. And that's probably because of spiritual and emotional work that you may be doing. I will also say that this is an oracle card that we will flip over at the end of the reading because it has a message on the back. I like having it here because I like looking at the artwork while we're doing the reading. I will say when I was pulling your cards, it took a little while for the cards to come out, and when I just wanted one, when I was pulling them, a bunch of different cards fell out, and they all had angel wings on them. And then this card came out for you, and it's the person with wings. So definitely, I think there's just an additional message here for you about divine protection and some sort of angelic source helping bring things into alignment. So there is like a protective, and this, you know, person's kind of lying in the fetal position, like you are protected, you are safe, and so anyway, we'll get into that later in the reading, and then I do want to also start by taking all of your oracle cards right out the bat, so we have kind of a complete picture, full context for what might be happening this year. And I love this. Oh my God. Okay. You know, and I will say for the other piles, and anytime I do any type of reading like this, you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm not going to shy away from telling you the truth about what I'm seeing in the cards, or if there's a more complicated message, or there's messages about heartbreak or anything like that. You know, I will give those messages. I want to be honest. You know, I always try to be compassionate, but I'm also try to be honest. There's lots of very positive messages for you. Pile 4, we have very soon, it says, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. There's a connection definitely with manifestation. If you need to clarify, even this, it's like a bird delivering diamonds to this person. It's like you could have whatever you want. You know, you are being protected, you are being guided, Spirit is with you, and it's like, yeah, this is like clearly decide what you want. Like get very clear with yourself about exactly what you want, because it's going to come in very soon. You are actively manifesting exactly what you want. With it's like the 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment, 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment. Let's make those wishes clear because they are very close to coming in for you very soon. So definitely a positive message there. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have rainbow, which says hope. That's again a beautiful message. Rainbows are a symbol of hope. I think the 10 of Cups in a lot of decks does have a rainbow on it, a symbol of hope. Yeah, so don't give up hope. Like very soon, you are actively manifesting whatever you want. I will say also the fridge on this picture has magnets with letters and numbers on them that might be significant. They might not be, but they might be. We have like an R, C, K, E, V, and then the numbers 9 to the lowercase b up there, and this card itself is the number 6. There might be a connection to the 6 of Wands here. I'm seeing this as like you stepping into your energy, like your leadership energy. This might also represent I'm sorry, I just got a message about two souls recognizing each other. Basically, I would take this as whatever you are hoping for. Your spirit guides. What do I want to say? How can I put this? With the reason why it's so important to be very clear about what resonates for you in terms of your heart's desire is because your spirit guides are working really hard to bring that in towards you. That's a message. I know I already kind of said that, but that's kind of what I'm seeing there. And then with 6, I was also thinking there might be a connection to the month of June. Might be particularly significant for you this year. Again, just take that however it resonates. And we also have 2 9s as bookends, so September might also be important. Again, take it however it resonates. And then we have the full moon in Libra, which says find a balance. I like that. I think that you will be finding a balance is also, it's the full moon, which is, you know, talking about completion, fulfillment, definitely messages here. A lot of like emotional depth, like feel a lot of connection to emotions. And then we have Libra, which is tied to the 7th house of relationships, partnerships, harmony, balance, justice, fairness, karma, all those things. So again, a very, very positive message there for you. And this would also be talking to me about, with the emphasis on balance, I think that you are going to be, I think it's because you're in such a healthy energy, especially with the 9 of Pentacles in a romance or relationship reading, can also talk about being in an independent energy and having the type of relationship where it's like we're both together in a relationship, but we're not codependent. We might be interdependent, but we are not, this is very much like you know, we might still have separate finances, or we might have like our own friends groups or whatever, but we have a very beautiful and meaningful relationship, you know. But it's like we can still maintain our independence, and like we're not getting so caught up in each other that it's unhealthy, to put it that way. And that's speaking to me about a balance, like an equal balanced partnership, an equal balanced relationship where everybody is getting their needs met, because you are in a very receptive, an energy, how do I put this? You are in a place where you are ready to have that type of relationship. And I don't know whether you have had to heal past karma, if you've had to like heal from past relationships where it was not balanced, where you might not have been you know, really advocating for yourself, or you know, putting your own needs first, and you know, and wanting to have that type of equal and balanced exchange in a relationship. You might be somebody who has struggled with codependency or anything like that, and have had to heal from that. And the message here would be, because you have healed from that, you know, you are going to be attracting in like a very balanced partnership. It's like we're both bringing 5 cups here so that we can have our 10 of cups together, to put it that way. And I think that's something that you can really be very proud of. I think that's awesome and amazing. It speaks to how much work you have done. And then the last card that we have for you. I love this. Okay, yes. We have, I choose what's better and healthier for me. Instant gratification is fleeting, but smug satisfaction lasts forever. And then there's an asterisk, and it says like 8 to 12 hours. But that's really cute. It says, and it's kind of reiterating what I was just saying about making healthy choices for yourself, choosing to focus on balance. And that can be balance in a relationship. It could also be like work-life balance, and having like a balanced and healthy routine, and having, you know, a balance in the foods you choose to eat. It's like we're not going to avoid eating the cupcake or the donut or the burger, you know. It's like, but we're also going to work apples into, you know, so that we can get whatever nutrients are in an apple, as well as having whatever food we want to have. So again, it's just like focusing on, and it's like, I know, like you're already in this energy, and because you're already in this energy, and you are like making really healthy choices for yourself, and coming to 2023 from a very balanced and healthy and what's the word I want? Responsible energy. Is responsible the right word? It's something like that. Like you're taking responsibility for yourself and for your happiness, and that is attracting towards you exactly what you want out of a relationship. Again, whether that is with a new person you haven't met yet, or in the relationship that you're currently in, and up-leveling it and making it into the type of relationship that that you have hope that it will be. You know, this, again, there's a lot of really beautiful positive messages here. And I feel very happy for you, pile 4, because I was like, with the other piles, I was like, oh, there's lots of, you know, healing and stuff might happen, and it's, you know, that's all well and good and very important, but the whole spread here is just making me feel very happy. And again, I think you should be very proud of yourself, pile 4, like, to get to this place. I think probably took a lot of work, and the good news is that, like, you're here, and that's beautiful. I think when I was saying responsible, the word that I was thinking of was independent. So that just came to me while I was looking at the spread, because that's one of the major keywords for the Nine of Pentacles. And, you know, it has a slightly different connotation, you know, in a general reading, or especially in career and financial readings. But particularly in a romance reading, it's like, you deserve to feel so proud of what you have done to be in this mindset, because it's just, you have earned these diamonds that this bird is delivering to you. And there's a message with this card of like, it's something that occurred to me, and I didn't say it because I do think, you know, if you are single, definitely there's a relationship that's coming in. I would say that's like very loud and clear in the spread here. But it's like the Nine of Pentacles is almost an energy of, I don't need a relationship. Like I'm just as happy, you know, because I have found a source of peace and happiness that comes from within. It's like I've learned how to fill my own cup. And that's why when I come to a relationship, it's like this card gives me Two of Cups vibes, like an equal partnership, an equal exchange. We, you know, both me and my partner have a full cup, and we're bringing that to the relationship so that we can give each other that full cup and still have a full cup, you know. So it's like an equal and balanced exchange, but it's because you've learned how to fill up your own cup, you know, and because you have that sense of fulfillment and peace on your own. It's like being able to share that with your partner in a relationship in a healthy and balanced way that is very emotionally fulfilling for both of you. Again, it's like there's just a message coming through. It's okay to take a moment and give yourself some kudos and really pat yourself on the back, and like even like throw yourself a party, like give yourself permission to really commend yourself on the emotional and spiritual and psychological work and development and up-leveling that you have been doing, because it's not easy. And for the other cards here, this is very beautiful and positive, for sure, no matter what. There's slightly different interpretations based on, again, if you're currently single, and or like if you are in an established relationship. But again, this like mostly positive. If there was like one thread, like one little thing that might be just a message to remember, because everything is going to be going so well, because there's going to be such a sense of fulfillment and connection, and you know, and like, again, things are just going to be going so well. There's a little, just like a slight, very small reminder that the reason why this relationship is going so well has to do with this Queen of Cups here. It could represent the other person who's coming towards you. This could also represent the energy that you are choosing to bring to this relationship, and the reason why it is ticking all the boxes, the reason why it is working out so well. Choosing to be in the energy of the Queen of Cups would be remembering to nurture the connection, remembering to bring compassion to the relationship, remembering not to get complacent. That's the only, that is like really the only one thing where I think there's like any level of advice here, because like most of this is, you've got this, you already know what you're doing, like you really don't need advice here. Like this is, it's just saying like very soon, you know, don't give up hope is like right around the corner, you know. Just, you know, again, it's along with you know, being very clear about what you want. It's also like just remembering also to continue to nurture the connection, because it's going to feel so easy, it's going to feel so natural, it's going to feel like such wish fulfillment, you know. And it's like I could easily see just falling into a really comfortable pattern and routine. And it's like, well, let's still make time to have the date nights and to, you know, to do the milestone things, because those are important too. So that's what I wanted to say there. But if you are single, because you're in the energy of the Nine of Pentacles, we have the Six of Wands in a relationship reading. It does talk about like recognition and receiving a reward for your hard work, like being recognized for something. In a relationship reading, this can happen when we are celebrating because we have like something we're really excited about, something that we recognize as a very important connection has come into our lives. It's like, and it can be like giving our partner and the relationship the recognition that it deserves. So that's why I'm saying like there's a connection to the message of let's make sure that we are giving compliments to our partner. Let's make sure we're letting people in our life know how much we love them and how much we care about them, and the positive way that the relationship that we have with them has been making us feel. So it's like an affirmation, a verbal reinforcement, positive reinforcement would be what is being indicated here on the Six of Wands, of like, yeah, just, and this could even be saying like you are going to be having somebody come towards you who's going to be giving you all of the things I was saying about your energy here on this Nine of Pentacles, going to be saying those things to you, like recognizing those parts of you, and giving you lots of verbal affirmations and lots of compliments, and it's all stuff that you know is true because you have you have high enough self-esteem to be able to accept those compliments, and because it's like this, it's like, yeah, I have worked really hard. I have, healed a lot of stuff, and and also making sure to return that energy back to this person, and that's kind of what I'm seeing with the Six of Wands. Ten of Cups, obviously a very beautiful message. So it's like the emotional fulfillment, like the top level of emotional fulfillment. This card talks about finding a soulmate, settling down, family, like building a family with someone. And that's why like this might also be a message about the Six of Wands can be like that energy after somebody proposes. The Ten of Cups following that would be maybe connected with marriage or starting a family. So if you are currently in a relationship, there might be messages here about certain milestones that might be coming up for you this year. Definitely, again, that feeling of excitement, that feeling of we're building a future together, we're building a home together, we are creating a family together. However that resonates for you. I understand it and recognize some people don't want to have children, or relationships, the ideal relationship looks different to different people. So this would be like whatever you're hoping for. There will be a positive development in terms of the stability and the level of fulfillment in your connection. And it's like building a future with a partner together in an equal way that is fulfilling for both of you. And with the Queen of Cups here, again, I was saying like this is intentionally choosing to focus on having a very nurturing connection with somebody, and if this is, I think it's like every associated message of the Queen of Cups probably applies here. I think that this represents your energy. I think this represents the energy of your partner. I think this represents the energy you're both bringing to the connection, and the reason why it is being represented here as this Ten of Cups, Nine of Cups, is because of this Queen of Cups energy. Again, of like intentionally nurturing the connection, having like a really strong emotional connection with somebody, having a very strong intuitive bond with somebody, and this is like because we are approaching the connection with a lot of emotional maturity, with the like wanting and knowing the importance of healthy and balanced communication. It's like it's not being afraid to have an uncomfortable conversation if one person is doing something and it's with the energies here, it's probably unintentional. If somebody is doing something that's upsetting or doesn't work for you, it's like the Queen of Cups being here would be saying like, okay, let's just have the conversation. Like, I know you're probably not doing this intentionally, but when you do this behavior, it makes me feel this way, and I wanted to let you know. And then the other person being like, oh my God, I'm so glad you told me. I had no idea it was making you feel that way. Of course, I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to pay much more attention to that. Thank you for letting me know, etc. That's like very healthy communication, emotional maturity, having a really strong emotional connection with somebody, and being in the energy of the Queen of Cups is very very compassionate, very nurturing, very emotionally mature, and highly intuitive. And it's like, yeah, it's like having that intuitive connection with somebody where it's like, it's the soulmate level connection. Like, I know you like the back of my hand, you know, because our souls recognize each other. You know, I see you, I see myself in you. And because of that, it is easy for us to communicate. It is easy for us to connect emotionally. It is easy for us to connect intuitively. And that's really important. And it's, you know, the cups in this deck have eyes on them as well. And it's reminding me of the connection to the third eye. You know, it's again, like a very intuitive, emotional connection. And that's beautiful. And it's also an energy, both of you intentionally nurturing the connection and developing the emotional intimacy in the bond. And that's also why I'm thinking like, you know, whether this is an established relationship or if this is something new that's coming in for you, it doesn't really matter, because it's like intentionally developing emotional intimacy with your partner. That's the message here of this Queen of Cups, and that's beautiful. And again, I think you're both going to be bringing this energy to the connection, and it's like beautiful. And that it's with Nine of Cups, like I was, you know, I think it was funny, like these cards came out, and then it was like I was like, this is already such a beautiful, positive message, you know, and then it was almost like the Nine of Cups was like just a confirmation. You know, this is Spirit saying, yep, this is a very beautiful, positive message for you. The Nine of Cups talks about wish fulfillment. It talks about whatever we are trying to manifest. It talks about a relationship that ticks every box. Everything that we wanted is being represented here. It's like, what did you want out of the connection? Did you want to have a proposal and get married and have the, you know, the house in the suburbs and 2.5 kids? And if that was the life for you, if you want a different kind of life, whatever it is, it's coming in for you, and it's going to be so much, I'm just thinking like so much more fulfilling, so much better than we even suspected, because both people in this connection are bringing the same level of commitment, emotional maturity, like just, it's like so equal and balanced. And I love that. And I just, again, like I'm feeling very happy for you. Pile 4, I don't know that there's a ton of like complication, red flags, obstacles, blockages. I'm not really seeing that. Again, it's like I was like, there's a maybe a slight message about you know, just remembering to be intentional about you know, giving the other person praise and making sure that you are bringing compassion and actively nurturing the connection. And you know, it's like it's going to feel so easy and be such like a high level soulmate level connection. It's like there's also important to remember to like schedule date nights and you know, and have those conversations every once in a while to check in with your partner, make sure that they know how much you love them and how important they are to you. Even though you might think that they know intuitively, it's also, you know, it's also feels good to hear it as well. Like that's really if there's any advice here, that would just be a reminder about that. But it's almost like you don't even really need to hear that. Like I know that you already know that, and I don't think there's really anything else to be said here. Like this is, yeah, you can have whatever you want, and there's going to be something coming in. It's a general reading, but it does say very soon, and it's like you are actively manifesting this just by being in this energy, and that's beautiful. Discernment, that was the word that I wanted for this card. I was thinking responsible, independent, using your discernment. The Queen of Cups is also very good at using their discernment because it's connected to intuition and the third eye, and because you're in this discerning energy of the Nine of Pentacles. And that's what I wanted to say. That was the word that wasn't coming to me. It's like, yeah, I choose what's better and healthier for me. I use my discernment to make healthy choices. And you know, it's like instant gratification. It's okay once in a while, you know, like sure. But then it's also important to have that balance with making the healthier choice. So that was what I wanted to say, and I'm glad that that word came to me. And now we're going to flip this last oracle card over for you. As I said, I think it's important, like we had lots of kind of angelic cards that were coming out, a message about divine protection. For sure, I could see that being here, working with the angels to bring things into alignment. Again, this person's kind of in the fetal position, and they're naked, which could be like a very vulnerable place to be, but they're resting. They know that they're safe and protected here. And I think that's like an important message. The green of the heart chakra healing. Your heart is safe and protected because you've done the work to make sure that you have the discernment and the healthy boundaries to protect yourself, and also while also embracing the very kind of divine feminine aspect of the Queen of Cups, regardless of your gender, that is receptive and open to receiving the things in this lifetime. That was the other piece of advice that I forgot, was to remember, and with the clearly decide what you want so that you can have it. Remember that you do deserve to have the absolute top level of relationship, whether that is something new or something that is like an up leveling of your current connection. You deserve the best for sure. And that was another thing that was coming to me. I'm trying not to ramble here. And then we have the blue of the throat chakra. And I was saying there's the Queen of Cups, very good at talking about feelings and not afraid to, not shying away from having those more uncomfortable but honest communications about when things aren't working, or when somebody unintentionally oversteps a boundary or something like that, to just speak up about it, because that is a way to make sure that we are always protecting our heart, and being able to have those, the real sense of emotional intimacy based on honesty. And the willingness to be very honest. And so that's what I'm seeing there. And then this message is, it is important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. Could be represented on this Nine of Pentacles. Might be happening towards maybe the beginning of the year, some alone time, some independent time. Instead of placing your focus on another, now is the time to give to yourself. And so that would be with the message of very soon, all this manifestation energy, the excitement on the Six of Wands for this Ten of Cups relationship, this focus on creating emotional intimacy with your partner, having a very intuitive connection. This is going to be wish fulfillment. Don't give up hope, very soon, but right now we're focusing on finding a balance, and we're making healthy choices, and we're embracing this energy of the Nine of Pentacles, because this is what is manifesting everything else that you want. And I do think it's important. The person on this Nine of Pentacles is not looking at this. They're facing, they're focused on their pentacles. They're focused on their spiritual connection to this bird here. Bird's also a symbol of freedom. You are always free no matter what. You are always free to choose no matter what. And so this could just be a message like, if this takes a little bit longer than you wanted, or a little bit, if this has been a long time coming, it's because it's so important for you to be in this Nine of Pentacles energy where you are providing your own fulfillment so that you can have your own sense of peace, your own sense of balance, your own sense of harmony, your own sense of discernment, so that you can have the ultimate, very best version of this relationship, because you're going to be in such a healthy and balanced energy when it does come in. So it's like, again, if this is maybe hard to hear because you're like, I've heard this so many times and it hasn't happened yet, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. This would just be a confirmation. The whole thing, this Nine of Pentacles is this is a very important card. If this is your current energy, then the message would just be, it's just a matter of time. Let's stay the course, because this is beautiful and very important, and you're doing everything right, and it's just a matter of divine timing and maybe the other person coming into alignment with your energy, if this, again, if it's maybe even discouraging and disheartening to hear about this, because you're like, but again, it hasn't happened yet, and I can feel their energy, and it hurts that I'm not with them yet. It's like, well, let's put that down. Let's put that aside for now and refocus on ourselves. And because we know that being in this energy is what is going to attract the rest of this in. So again, that's a very beautiful positive message for you, pile 4. I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm going to end the reading here. I do hope that you have enjoyed it. Please, if you did like it, please feel free to leave a like. Please comment down below and let me know how this resonated for you. If you enjoy my videos and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. And with that said, thank you very much for watching Pile 4, and I do hope to see you in my next video.